Trump and DeSantis.
My favorite.
Adam said, I want to know if this is the truth.
I want to hear from David Harris.
So we're going to see what David Harris has to say about this, and we're going to see what Mr. Sauce has to say about this. So Trump reportedly said he effing hates Ron DeSantis. This is the week story. As former President Trump possibly eyes the 2024 run, a new report suggests there's one other potential contender whose popularity he really resents, Florida Governor DeSantis. A report from Vanity Fair this week delves into how various Republicans are testing the waters for 2024 presidential primaries in case Trump doesn't decide to seek the GOP nomination. And among the likely contenders in that scenario would be DeSantis. But the report describes that the fact that the Florida governor's biggest challenge may be his fraught relationship with the 45th president. Trump effing hates DeSantis. A Trump confidant told Vanity Fair he just resents his popularity. Earlier this year, 2024 straw poll taken at the Western Conservative Summit saw DeSantis slightly ahead of Trump, 74 to 73%. So I'm going to go to you first. Have you heard anything about the story, David Harris Jr.?
No. And my first question when you asked me last night if I even knew about it was who reported it. Because I've got a filter that I've got to put everything through, and every single individual in America, literally in the world, should understand that you've got to put things through a filter. Who's saying it? What's their source? And is anybody else verifying that? And what's their angle? You know, which way do they lean? Vanity Fair leans heavily left, so far left.
Maybe furthest left. They're in the category of furthest left.
Yeah, they're out there with Rolling Stone, who just got smashed for posting a fake news article against ivermectin, saying that hospitals in Ohio were overran with people having adverse reactions to ivermectin, so much so that people that had car accidents couldn't get in there. The whole thing was made up. The whole thing was a lie. Rachel Maddow, she ran with it. BBC ran with it. So anyway, I have a filter. So my question is, who's saying the article? Okay, they're a left-leaning, biased reporting agency, and what would their intention be for this? Well, try to create some division amongst conservatives, or at least to Democrats, make it look like the higher-ups, Trump, DeSantis, are at odds with each other. I haven't personally heard anything. I've reached out to some connections that are close with Trump. I haven't heard back from them, but it doesn't make any sense to me. You know, DeSantis is doing exactly what, he's an America first governor. He's leaving the state open. He's trying to leave the state open. He's allowing people to go to work. They're seeing, their numbers soar as far as employment. They have so many hit pieces against them on, the virus is out of control in Florida, and then they wind up having to retract all that because it was total made up. Like, they literally took data from last year and plugged it into this year to try to make it look like they had a massive resurgence of COVID in Florida. So there's an attack to try to separate and to make Trump look bad or make DeSantis look bad, but I haven't heard any of that, and so, I don't see that either. And I definitely don't see him actually making a statement that would go anywhere, even if he did for some other personal reason have an issue with DeSantis.
Yeah. So you buy into the comment that Obama said, don't underestimate Biden's ability to F things up.
Oh, yeah, I can believe that because, I mean.
Can you see that happen? You can't see Biden doing something like that. He's one of the greatest presidents we've had in the last 12 months.
Well, yeah, sure. 81 million people voted for the guy.
Most popular president of all time.
Yeah, as he couldn't get 50 people to his rally, which is why they had to start using Jeeps to go in there and honk. So
I want you to be careful because he gets offended when you say things like that. Adam gets very
all I do is speak the truth.
David Harris, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Odds that Trump runs in 2024, what you got?
I'd say they're very good.
I don't want to hear very good. I need numbers, baby.
I'd say it's 90%.
90?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the question, though. I think the question isn't that. I think the question is, who on the right do they want to be the leading candidate representing the 2024? Meaning,
Trump.
Do Republicans today want Trump or do they want DeSantis?
They want Trump.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
I think the base that Trump built and the energy that's in the conservative party, and there's a splintering, right? Because Trump was the outsider. So the GOP, I mean, it's like there is a splintering in the GOP from the Republican Party that would rather have DeSantis. They'd rather have DeSantis than Trump. They say, well, Trump's too polarizing, this, that, and the other. But you know what? I think more people in this country are fired up to be conservative and to align with conservative values, which is what Republicans do, than ever before in this country.
Here's a question for you. So say, for instance, Trump says, I'm not running. Do you think Trump will go campaign for DeSantis to win?
If DeSantis is the
He
guy,
is.
I think he would. Yeah.
You think he would?
Yeah.
So you
Just
don't
like
think
he is right now with state, with congressional races. He's endorsing candidates. He's out there. He's pushing. You know, he said he's not gonna just take this loss, this perceived loss. I mean, it is right on paper. We got a president on paper right now that's in there because of fraud. In my personal belief and opinion, there's absolutely no way that he should be in office. And I'm still holding out for the Arizona audits. I'm still holding out to find out what the audits have to say. Because I believe that when the audits come out of Arizona, they're going to decertify their results. That's going to be the first state to do it. And then I think Georgia's going to follow suit with the audits. Wisconsin's talking about it. Pennsylvania.
What do you
all
actually
those
think
swing
the
states
odds of
need
that
to do.
actually happens, Dave?
You know what? On my podcast, the David J. Harris Jr. podcast, on my podcast for
David
a year.
Yeah,
You got to have J. You got to have the J in
What's the
there.
J stand for?
James.
James.
David
Got it.
James.
It's kind of like the
two
Donald
Bible
J.
names,
Trump.
right? Well, it's just
My
David
son's
James.
middle name is Jay. So
David James, Harris
James,
Jr.
keep going.
So for the better part of a year on my podcast, I would say if for some Hail Mary chance of a reason Joe Biden got in office, well, he's in office. So now I'm saying if there's a Hail Mary chance that we can get these swing states to actually do a forensic audit, and look, if Biden won, then all power to him. Great. Everybody that's supporting Biden and supports the Democrats, they should be happy. They should be able to say, look, we proved it, now shut the hell up. Great. But if not, why are they roadblocking and stalling these audits from happening?
But you're using term like Hail Mary. So this is a Hail Mary.
Well, it is. Yeah, no,
1% chance of anything happening.
Well, that's what
Is
I'm
that what
saying.
you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Let's
If
get
it
off
was a
that.
Hail Mary chance that Biden got in, which he did, what I'm saying right now is what I truly believe is a way to rectify the fraud. There's no statute of limitations on fraud.
Until it happens. Until it happens, it
Yeah.
happens. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to stay on topic here. So let's go back on topic here. So how bad you think it would look when DeSantis and Trump, imagine the debate stage for Republican, these two guys are debating, okay? You have on stage Nikki Haley. You have on stage DeSantis. You have on stage Pence. You have on stage these guys are debating.
Right.
How ugly will that get because to me, the sight of Pence and Trump debating, that
wow.
doesn't look right.
No.
Okay?
Yeah.
And do you think DeSantis is going to sit there and allow Trump to take shots at him? Or do you think Trump's going to be okay if DeSantis, like, the Kamala Harris shot at Biden? Do you remember the whole thing, like how awkward that was?
Oh, yeah.
Was it the first debate or second debate?
She
I don't know
basically
what
called him racist.
She basically
Yeah.
called him racist and
She
then
called
became the
Joe
VP,
racist,
which is a
and then like,
formula.
oh, I'll come work for you now.
But how weird will that look to see DeSantis, Trump, Pence all on stage? Nikki Haley makes sense, but the other three to be on stage, if that were to happen, how competitive do you think it would get?
It almost seems unimaginable. Like
does.
that's how
I agree with that. That's why I'm asking
the
a
fact that
question.
you see Pence, DeSantis, Nikki Haley up on stage debating Trump.
Yeah.
And let's not forget what Trump
Haley's
did in
fine.
2016.
Haley's fine.
No,
I
she's
think-
got some questionable.
Yeah. Well,
No,
I'm
no,
saying
no,
as
no.
far
That's
as
not what I'm
debating
saying.
Trump.
What I'm saying is
Yeah.
Haley doesn't give a shit like to go
Right.
and
I
call
almost-
him
Oh,
out.
right,
That's
right,
what I'm.
right.
She'll call him
She'll
out.
call him out.
It
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
seems like they're just going to give him the nomination. Like, I don't see Trump. Remember how
I don't think
ugly
so.
things got in 2016 between lying Ted Cruz and little Marco Rubio and the whole cast and Sleepy Ben Carson and with the whole thing. How ugly it got. I think.
You know what though with Trump, he never really went at Ben. He never went at Ben with any shots.
Carson.
Ben Carson.
Yeah.
He just let Ben be Ben, right? He
Sleep
didn't really
on
have anything,
stage, yeah,
He didn't really
exactly.
have anything to say. I'm almost wondering if that was the case. It's hard to imagine, but if that was the case, if we'd actually just see them each try to lay out their best plan for how to move this country forward in the right direction, and unless somebody has a reason for shots, like Pence,
dude.
Trump's
I
not
don't see that
going
happening.
to Trump's not going to back down off of that because
let me tell you
he
why.
could have stopped it. He could have stopped he could have given another 2 weeks back in January to say we need to actually look at some of this material instead of moving forward with certifying the election, and Pence didn't do it.
What do campaign managers get hired to do?
To win.
Seek and destroy.
For you to win, right?
Yeah.
Not for you
the-
to win.
not for
so
the party to win.
The campaign manager has a lot on the line. If I'm taking DeSantis and I want to be your campaign manager, I'm asking you a question, dude. Are you playing to be VP or are you playing to be the president, right?
Right.
Because I got to have a good record as well. So then Trump's campaign manager, they're going to do what they do best. They're going to make those short clips go viral, because you'd be in jail type of videos. Their social media team is a freaking beast of a
Yeah.
social media team, right?
Yep.
So he's going to
Scavino.
do his part. But I will tell you, DeSantis is not a lightweight. DeSantis
No,
is
not at
not
all.
Pence.
No.
DeSantis is not
No.
Nikki Haley.
No.
DeSantis believes he's the president of the United States. DeSantis has that identity that I'm going to be the president of the United States, and I think I'm the right guy to do the job. I think that's what this, and there's a part of America that believes the same with him as well. So
It'll
it's-
get ugly.
huh?
It'll get ugly.
I
Yeah,
agree. That's
very.
my
It'll get ugly.
concern.
Yeah.
Let me give you my 2 cents.
Here's the other
Okay, go
conversation.
ahead.
Do you think, you know how Biden has a meeting with, not Biden has a meeting, the folks on Biden's camp have a meeting with Sanders, with Elizabeth Warren, with everybody. Like, listen, guys, Super Tuesday, drop out, come support, let's go win. We got to beat this Trump guy. We can't be dividing.
Right.
You think there's going to be somebody that's going to say DeSantis? Okay, so let's have the conversation. So visualize this conversation. I'm from Trump's camp. I go meet with DeSantis, and I say, hey, Ron, we'd like to have a meeting with you. And they have the meeting behind closed doors. And they say, Ron, how much do you love America? You know how much I love America. Ron, we think the best thing to do right now is the following. How about you agree to not go up against Trump? You become the VP. Trump becomes the president. And we go beat Biden. And then after Trump's done, you win and you become a two-term president. Okay, visualize that's it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're Ron DeSantis. What do you think Ron's going to say in that meeting?
That's tough.
Hell no.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
gonna-
think
he's
I
gonna
don't
say
think
hell
he'll do
no.
Hard to
that.
say no to that, is what you're saying.
No.
No,
I
no,
think
no,
he's
no.
gonna
He's
be
gonna
like,
say
no.
hell no. He's
No,
gonna say, like,
because
are you crazy?
It's almost like this. It's almost
I
like
don't know though, because DeSantis has to see the rise in popularity among the conservatives and the Republican Party due to Trump, the Trump effect. You can't deny the MAGA effect, the Trump effect. Instead of trying to chop Trump down and go after him and potentially lose, he could be a sure bet if he got with Trump, and then he could still have the chance to be president for two more.
I don't know if he sees it that
terms.
way. I think
I don't know. It's tough. I don't know.
think here's what you got to ask him: is he Dwayne Wade, or is he Giannis? Is he a guy that's going to be like, hey, let's team up and go build a super team together? You know, like, hey, come on, let's build a super team in Cleveland and Miami and Boston.
Right.
Or is he a guy that's going to say, no, I'm good. I can build a team around myself, and I think I'm a good number one. I think you're a good number one, but I also think I'm a good number one. I get a feeling that Ron thinks he's a good number one. I don't get a feeling that I think Ron thinks he's a number two. There's a moment where Trump is bringing Ron up. This is in 2019. And Trump says, you know, I'm not going to lie to you. First time I met Ron, I said, you know, Ron's a little chubby. Ron's got to lose some weight because I was always worried that Ron's a little heavy. You know, he's a little round. He's a little heavy.
He said this, or you're saying
Trump
you can
said
imagine?
this to DeSantis bringing him up.
Wow.
And he says,
Ouch.
he says, yeah, I'm kind of feeling him. I'm thinking this guy's a little heavy. He's, you know, he's got to lose some weight. And Trump is saying this about this. He says, and then one day I tap his shoulder. When I tapped his shoulder and I felt all the muscles, I said, no, this guy's not chubby. This guy's muscular. This guy's strong. He's the only politician I've said this to. He said, I told Ron, you ought to take your shirt off more often. Don't wear a jacket. With that being said, help me bring up your governor, Ron DeSantis. That's how I brought him up. Only Trump will bring stuff.
Yeah.
I even got a smile out of this.
Funny. I actually think that there is.
He kept it real.
He kept it real.
He kept
how
it
he is.
real.
I actually think there is a little bit of credibility to this story, and I'll tell you why. And I get that it's Vanity
Yeah.
Fair. You know how they say
You would think
I
there's
would.
credibility to Vanity Fair.
He would.
No,
He
I'm
would.
not. I don't even care if
You
it's the
would.
Vanity. I'm
That's why he's a
I'm
subscriber
going
to National
based,
Enquirer, just so you know.
I'm going based on Trump's
22
track
years.
record. You know how they say the ego is not the amigo? If this poll is anywhere, this is at the Western Conservative Summit. This ain't Vanity Fair here, David.
Yeah,
this is
that's
a
a
straw
poll,
poll.
though.
Okay, cool.
It's a poll.
The fact that we all know that Trump loves the polls. I'm doing great in the polls.
Yeah,
The
but that
fact
doesn't validate him saying something like that about DeSantis.
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying.
All right, I'll let you
Then
go.
don't
What I'm
cross
saying-
the two together.
I'm
though.
doing
That's
it.
what he's trying to do. So that's
No,
what he's
I'm
trying to
saying
do.
if there was a poll,
That's what people that have been programmed do.
I'm saying if there is a poll that even shows DeSantis beating Trump, Trump doesn't like that, bro.
Love you, buddy.
Okay, listen. I think we all agree. Here's my prediction. Trump runs again. He's not going to win. If DeSantis and Haley win on the run on the ticket, they can win. I think you're forgetting how toxic Trump is. I think if you take a DeSantis and a Nikki Haley, you're going to get people in the middle to vote for them. I think if you're cool with your 42%, you know, maybe you get to 45%, you're back to, oh, we got the election stolen from us.
Here's the
they
benefit.
don't like Trump.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Go to anybody after their first term. Okay, Obama after his first term. Did he have a terrible first term?
He did not have a great first term.
Okay. Go to.
Did he have a terrible first term?
I wouldn't
Did he
say
have
terrible.
Did he
I
have a
would say
terrible
he had-
second term?
Did he have a terrible first
presidency.
term?
What's that?
Did Obama have a terrible first term?
He did not have a good first term.
But not a terrible.
I'm
I
not
think
saying
it was
terrible.
I don't, okay.
I'm saying it
So do you
was
think
subpar.
Bush, GW, had a good first term?
Junior?
Yeah.
No, with 9/11 and
Okay.
Katrina.
So let me continue.
Not a good
Do
look.
you think Clinton had a good first term?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Take all of their first terms.
Yes.
And even Trump. Do you think Trump had a good first term?
Until COVID.
But that's not on his control, though. Because even he
Arguably.
delivered. Well, he brought vaccine
Arguably.
within 9 months, even though everybody said, even Fauci said 18 months, he delivered within 9 months, right? That's not because of Fauci. Trump was dealing with all these other guys that brought it, okay? So today, if we look at Trump as a first term, was it a great first term, good first term, terrible first term, or a bad first term?
Depends on the lens that you're looking at it.
0 to 10.
For
Let's say
how
5
are we
or
judging
6.
it, though?
Even for you, say 5 or 6.
Sure.
Okay. Who between Trump, Obama, GW, Bill Clinton had a worse first term? Those 4 or Biden so far?
I mean, just based on what happened to the country, you have to say George W. Bush with Katrina, with 9/11. That's
okay, so you
the
put him
worst.
first term.
Yeah.
You put Biden.
Biden? I mean, he's been in less than a year, so it's let's
Bro,
see
it
what
only
happens.
took a year for him to break everything. I mean, look, he didn't need a whole 4 years. Some people don't need 4 years. Some
What's
people are
every
more
week?
competitive.
Afghanistan?
It took
Are you
what's
kidding
with
me?
his
Jimmy
50
Carter every
frickin'
day thanks God, saying thank you for
Your
Biden.
favorite president of all time is Jimmy Carter.
Carter's officially taken off the list. He's officially taken
Look,
off the list.
I don't think that Biden is doing great
Okay.
at all.
Not doing
but
great.
he's less than a year in.
Here's
Let's see what
actually where I'm
happens.
going with this. Where I'm
Yeah.
going with this is you forget the fact that depending on how Biden does, he makes it easy for anybody to say, we got to try somebody
I don't
else.
think Biden should run again in 2024.
Oh, you want Kamala as a president?
No, not
I don't think he's
Kamala.
going to
You want
finish his
Pelosi?
first term.
Pelosi?
Not Pelosi. I think there should be a rule. If you're over 70, peace out. Peace out. From moving forward. Peace out.
Really?
Trump, Biden, Pelosi.
So who are
Keep
you, a
it moving.
Buttigieg guy?
What's that?
Buttigieg?
No, I'm not. But I think he's a talented guy. But I'm not a Buttigieg guy. I just think, again, I'll say this again for those that weren't listening. I think if DeSantis and Nikki Haley run on that ticket, they can win. If you throw toxic
They'll
Trump
pull
up
in
again,
independents and some Democrats too?
that's what I'm saying, David.
All right, I hear
We
you.
all know that if you're a conservative and you're a MAGA guy, you love Trump. But nobody else does, bro. Like, do you
I love his
understand that?
policies. It's not about the man, although I appreciate him.
Okay.
Met him 10, 11 times.
How
spent some
many
time with
people
him in the
vote
Oval
on
office.
policies?
Well, they're
10%
gonna
of
start to
people?
because of what's
More
going
people
on
I don't
right
think
now.
so. I think that argument of forget about the candidate. Forget about the candidate. Put a blank picture of the candidate and just look at their policies.
Well, if we keep
I think
going the
it's-
way
I
we-
think I don't think anybody does that. I think it's an emotional attachment to who the candidate is, and people we're emotional
Sure, there's
creatures.
some pizzazz in there, right? Somebody gets
You
up. I mean, that's
think?
the whole
What's
reason they
the,
have the
that's
debates.
that's his whole-
People want to see somebody and how they're going to interact,
Right.
how they're going to talk.
Of course.
What's the percentage right now of people wanting to retract their vote from
20%.
Biden? It was 20%, right? 1 in 5.
Out of 80 million people,
That's enough.
That's what, 20 million?
16
That's
million.
16
Yeah.
million people.
Okay.
So that alone-
And by the way, secretly,
What
you're
does
part
that
of that
even
camp
mean?
as well, though.
No, I don't.
You
look,
pulled a lever for Biden?
Again, I will tell you this:
Stop.
DeSantis
You vote for Biden?
and Nikki Haley, you have a chance.
You vote for Biden?
Toxic Trump, you have no chance.
Adam,
Yes, sir.
you vote for Biden?
When? In 2020?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You regret your vote yet?
I don't regret my vote, but I think Biden has some cleaning up to do.
How?
All he's done is make messes so far.
Well,
Like a little kid crapping in his diapers. That's some of the
At
some of the
least,
looks that Biden does after he says something. It's that look he gets. It's the look a little kid has when they
Again,
crap
This
their
is, this
pants.
is how I look at it.
Yeah.
We've had this conversation already. The way I look at it is the following. Who's a good number one? Okay? Biden's not a good number one.
but nobody voted for him to be like.
I
They
told-
were
but
like,
they-
we got a drunk
But-
driver
but
at
what
the
I'm-
wheel. Someone
but what
take
I'm
the wheel.
saying
That's
today,
why people
but
voted
what I'm
for Biden.
saying today, people are starting to realize you don't vote for a number 4 to be a number 1.
Right.
You don't do that.
Correct.
Gerald Ford was never a good number 1. He's a good number 2 or 3.
What
He ain't
about
a good
H.W. Bush? He was never a good number one, and that's why he didn't get elected a second time, right?
Who didn't? Senior?
The senior.
No. He didn't get elected second time because he got cocky thinking he's going to win. And Ross
also
came
Ross
in.
Perot,
No,
yes.
so that's a very different anomaly you just brought in. No, that's
But
a
he wasn't really a true number one.
I think against the people he was going up
Yeah.
against, But I also think Ross Perot was a number one.
Yeah.
I think Ross Perot's a number one. Are you kidding me? I think Ross
Yeah.
Perot was a fully good number one.
He just
So-
didn't have the look
No, but
have the
or the
pizzazz.
sound.
so the challenge I'm having right now is DeSantis is a number one.
He is.
So is Trump. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Pence, I don't think Pence should run.
No.
I think people behind closed doors that are telling him to run, I think should say nothing. I think should say just stay there because Pence's legacy right now is not that bad. It's not great, but Pence's legacy, believe it or not, remember when Trump first announced Pence? What did people say? Like,
What?
Pence?
Who's this
Yeah.
white
Yeah,
bread,
who was he?
vanilla?
And
or
then you
whatever.
got to know him. You're like, you know what? And yeah,
likable.
cool. Yeah, he's likable,
Yeah.
and he's
Seems
That
stable.
guy's as vanilla as it
calm.
gets.
But that's exactly what Trump needed.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's why he was a
No,
good
he's-
selection.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.